On the other hand, if you stayed at home, you could always go cruising down Piccadilly. Mind you, it needed more than a passport to get into some of those places. And it cost a bit more than £1 a day. Or night.
A tree that made a summer wear, a nest of robins in her hair.
Jack Hilton took his band along to listen to Jack Payne. It was a floor with attendants fair, broom and bluebell everywhere. In the boudoir, Auntie Nellie's dusting down her Botticelli.
At Geneva, the rippling lake was now a sea of troubled waters. For the champions of Versailles, a peaceful world meant the world as it was. But for the ambitious, the dissatisfied, this was not enough. Already their minds had turned to war, and one nation had made that purpose clear. Japan had ravished Manchuria. In the east, the shadows lengthened under a sinister rising sun. Where was it now, the glory and the dream? In Germany, the crooked cross had risen from the gutter to the east was Chancellor of the Reich. Then, by some whim of history, in the same momentous year, 1933, another came to power.
I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect the states, so help me God.
Two figures. Each was to have his ally. Here were the players, but the game had still to begin.
So, standard, England attacks.
Bodyline bowling menaces the best interest of the game. It makes protection of the body by the batsman his main consideration. Unless stopped at once, it is going to upset the friendly relations existing between England and Australia.
So, standard, Everest conquered, amazing flight.
Speaking as a psychiatrist, the most encouraging thing about man is his constant striving to reach the heights. To look down upon the roof of the world was achievement indeed. But there were other achievements too, for all men seek self-expression. Self-expression, like murder, will out. Always purposeful, if sometimes misdirected. People were seeking to prove something to themselves, to be the first to do something. And often it didn't matter what it was. If they failed to find self-expression, then they found escape in the achievements of another. Mick the Miller became the current phenomenon. Mick the Miller. I recall the name because I had a patient who maintained he was Mick the Miller. Someone stayed up a pole for 16 days and claimed it was a record. But that elevated position seemed likely to be man's permanent residence. The United States of America seemed to be entirely populated by gangsters. Colourful characters who never paid their income tax, although they laboured conscientiously running the booze, hijacking, or muscling in on the rackets. Whilst their more frustrated moments they spent in going up the river, onto the rock, into the big house, the cooler, or the can. Alternatively, they went for a ride and returned to lie plugged full of lead on a slab. But I must confess that man's destructive instinct was tempered on occasions by an equal capacity for constructive achievement.
In Europe, a darkness began to spread. A medieval darkness shot with blood, symbolized by flags of red and black. A darkness blocking the sunshine from the lives of decent men, obscuring their vision of the road they wished to tread. Germany was a land of devilry by night, and in her streets barbaric torchlight flickered on the crooked cross. That in which you did not believe must be destroyed. And in the burning, liberty, tolerance, and gentleness vanished from the land. The ancient game of Jew baiting was fashionable once more. Injustice, cruelty, and force. These were the laws of a modern state. Out into a wandering world went the persecuted, homeless and stateless. The rich, the poor, the artists, the philosophers. The state held no room for those who could see beyond, to truth itself. Then the other Prince of Darkness let loose his black legions. In defiance of the world, Il Duce took the sword. Into the dust of Abyssinia went the colonizers, the tanks, the bombing planes. At Geneva, the impassive Lion of Judah climbed the dais and pleaded for his country and his people.